Welcome to week 5 of ITGS 431 Games for Learning and Simulation. This week, we are turning our attention to simulations designed for adults. So, just as a warning, next week we start our big major project for the course. So, you may want to look ahead at that and start brainstorming ideas. This week, as I said, we're going to look at simulations designed for adults. These have been around for a long time, probably as long as children's simulations have been. They've gotten much more sophisticated over the years. You'll read a lot of case studies about this, but I want to highlight a couple. The first is the Air Force Training Simulator. This is something that's been in use in various forms for a long time. This one is for the Royal Air Force in the UK, this article. And obviously, there's a huge benefit to being able to use these types of simulations because rather than risk the life of pilot in training or risk a multi-million-dollar aircraft, you can just put them into a simulator, which simulates most of the experience. Obviously, the problem is that you can't simulate the actual fear and trepidation that comes from being in a real aircraft. This is the same problem that you have with surgery. So we can simulate a bunch of things about surgery through virtual reality and interactive experiences, but there's no way to simulate the actual feeling of have someone's life in your hands. So the best we can do is training on procedure, building up muscle memory, presenting different scenarios, and training surgeons to react to that. But again, the actual pressure of the operating theater, having someone's life in your hands, is not going to be replicated in this situation. So the training simulations, as good as they are in different capacities, there's always going to be a disconnect between the simulation and real life. So for this week, you're going to be reading about those case studies, and then you're going to be discussing. This is a pretty light week. You're just going to be discussing what do you think some of the advantages and disadvantages to using simulators, both in defense and medical training. And is there another area outside of those two groups, those two areas of simulation that you think would benefit from a very sophisticated simulation system? So, again, pretty light. Spend some of that time that you have available looking at next week's stuff and brainstorming project ideas. And if you have any questions, just reach out on Slack or through email.